Republican Congressman Mike McCaul of Texas. He's the chairman of the Homeland Security Committee. He's also a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee. I mean, sir, what do you make of that you have a witness who's saying, no, I'm not going to testify. I think this is partisan. I think this is a pretext for something.
Well, this dossier, I read it, and you probably have as well, very inflammatory. And as your commentator pointed out, baseless in many aspects. And so I do think it's important to get to the bottom of that. And I think it did start the president's relationship with James Comey on a very rocky road, because he was immediately showed this document which had very salacious allegations. I would personally like to know where this British intelligence investigator came up with this information, where he got it. I think it's something that Bob Mueller will be looking into. Remember, Bob Mueller is going to have a wide investigative powers in terms of not just domestically here in the United States, but foreign counterintelligence agents overseas who can verify these allegations and this evidence. And I have every confidence that Bob Mueller will do just that.
You said that this started the relationship with Comey in a rocky place. Do you think Comey should have not let him see the dossier and just, I mean, is that really your suggestion?
Well, I think, and I've known Jim Comey for a long time, I think what he was trying to do was let the president know that this existed, that this dossier was out there, and that it could be used against him. So I think, in a way, he was trying to give the president a heads up. I think it should have been explained also, though, that it was groundless and that they didn't see any, they were sort of baseless allegations. So, yeah, look, all I'm just saying is it wasn't received well by the president. I can imagine if I was presented with that kind of inflammatory stuff involving, prostitutes at the Ritz-Carlton in Moscow, that's not going to start things off on a good note.
No. But I imagine finding it out later and then knowing that the FBI director had it and didn't show it to you would also be troubling as well. So I do want to ask you, though, about this, because we're waiting to hear if Paul Manafort and Donald Trump Jr. are going to testify next week. They've been asked to before the Senate. What does it tell you if they decline to testify under oath?
Well, they have attorneys. Oftentimes, attorneys do not want their clients testifying before Congress, being on record. They would prefer to go through an FBI investigation. But, Michael Flynn was asked to testify and requested for immunity. So what I'll be looking for as a former prosecutor is whether that same request is being made, in this case.
Before I let you go, you are, as you mentioned, at the Aspen Security Forum. Tell us about where your effort stands on the reauthorization for the Department of Homeland Security. Some pretty significant developments here.
It's a very significant bill. We have not reauthorized the department since its creation in 2002. Some entities like ICE, for instance, does not exist in law. So it's very important, and I've been working with the Secretary very closely to have this reauthorization of the department, which will help protect Americans from the dangerous terrorist threat that we face. And so we passed this bill, 386 votes in the House. It's imperative, and the president has come out very strong in support that the Senate pass this important legislation to, for the first time, reauthorize one of the most important departments in the federal government.
All right, Congressman, we really appreciate your time. Congressman Mike McCaul, thank you so much for joining.